Good morning. Churchill said, never let a crisis go to waste. And this is exactly what we're going to do with this video, to give you insights, tips, ideas on how to benefit from every crisis you go through. This channel is for entrepreneurs and business executives. We share tips, ideas, interviews to help you become better leaders. So if you're new to this channel, consider subscribing on the link below. Now that the COVID-19 crisis is over, or at least phase 1 of the COVID-19 crisis is over, these are my 5 tips on how to focus on the after crisis and how to manage this new normal. Let's go. So the first one is reviewing the essential, non-essential list. In the first video, we talked about focusing on what's essential and letting go of what is not essential during the crisis. So now that we are in the post-crisis mindset, we need to look at the non-essential list and see which ones need to be permanently deleted. Thanks to the crisis, there are a lot of new learnings of things you never thought of doing, but because of the crisis you had to do. For example, traveling versus Zoom calls. We realized that a lot of things can be done with Zoom. So instead of traveling every month to a specific market, maybe you can travel every quarter and do 2 Zoom calls during the rest of the time. Online versus retail stores. If you have 40 stores that were all shut down during the crisis and you have your online channel that took off, maybe you don't need 40 stores, maybe you need 20 retail locations, and focus on your online platforms and making sure you improve the customer experience on the online platform. During crisis times, some people step up. Obviously, we need all kind of personality, and diversity is key. But now, thanks to this crisis, you know who can handle pressure, and you need to double check if these people are in the right positions. People who can handle stress and handle pressure could be opening new markets, could be in negotiation, could be traders, or in position where handling stress and being able to stay calm in these circumstances is key. And there's nothing like a crisis to show you who are the people who can remain calm and who are the people who freak out, and to reassess the skill set of your team and make sure that people are in the right positions. Is to be prepared for the next crisis. If you're watching this video, this means that you survived the first crisis, so congratulations, well done. However, be prepared, but don't overthink and don't focus on things that you cannot control. So we work on a lot of what-if scenario, but in a calm manner, because you cannot control whether there'll be another burst of COVID-19, a second wave, or whether there'll be another oil crash or whatever crisis your market is going through. So there's no point to stress on things that you cannot control, but it's very important to be prepared with what-if scenarios, and we usually do this after a crisis or in between crises, once the first crisis is over, to learn from everything that you've gone through to be able to be better prepared for your next crisis. The third insight is grow. Because during and after a crisis, there are plenty of growth opportunities, and sometimes it's different growth opportunities. It could be a delivery platform, your online platform that did extremely well during the COVID crisis. It could be retail locations that are now available, new ways of customer experience, like adapting to the new customers' demands. There are plenty of opportunities to look for after the crisis, and let's focus on the opportunities instead of focusing on the problems. Is embrace this new world. The worst thing that happened in a meeting is when someone tells me, we've been doing this for 15 years. Thank you for your service. Thank you for doing this for 15 years. But the world is changing, and we need to change. We need to adapt. We need to embrace this new world, this new normal, new customers' behaviors. Customers are focusing on trust now. Even if some brands do huge discounts. If customers do not trust that they are following strict hygiene measures, that they are taking COVID seriously, they are not going to buy their products, or they're not going to go to this particular restaurant. So trust is extremely important, even more important than discounts nowadays. So understanding new customers' behavior, embracing this new words, embracing this new customer behavior, and forget the fact that you've been doing this for 15 years is crucial to make sure that you're evolving like your customers are evolving as well. The fifth and last insight is that usually crises are personal wake-up calls. Every single time we go through a crisis, we become different people, and we learn, we grow at a personal level. Whether you were living a super hectic life and then realize that there are a lot of things that you can do from home, whether you were a workaholic working 20 hours a day and then you're stuck at home and you enjoy baking with your kids, this is a little bit my case. It's like small things that happen during a crisis that are wake-up calls that can push you to become a better person, a better leader, a better human, a better mom, a better everything. So don't let this go to waste, because what I'm seeing around me, a lot of people that took like major life decisions, and whenever the country opens up, we go back to our old habits. Don't do that. Try to learn from what happened, learn from your crisis, make sure you take the right decision to become a better person thanks to this crisis. And usually during the crisis, a lot of people review their purpose, their mission, their visions, reviewing your values. Now is the time to review all this, not to take anything for granted, to be grateful for what we have, and not to accept things that were not normal and that we used to accept, and embrace this new normal. And finally, remember that if a tiny virus was able to change the world, so can you. So let's make sure that you do that. See you next time.